Not even. What is up, everybody? Joe Everest, the Fence Expert, coming to you live from FenceTech 2026 in Indianapolis. I tell you what, guys, I've said it every time, and I'll say it again. This place is hopping, which for a Friday is a little abnormal. I think it's a really good crowd for a Friday.
Well,
sometimes they can be hit or miss.
I think it was intentional, like to schedule some keynotes and some groups this morning and this afternoon, so we could probably keep more people on the floor. It's important.
It's worked.
It's important that your vendors do come here to the show and they invest a lot of dollars. So it is nice that people do stick around and for the last day of the show.
Absolutely, and they're having conversations, right? Like we see people actively engaged in learning about the vendors and their products. So that's a win, guys. If you weren't able to come this year, you got to come next year. Next year we'll be in Phoenix, FenceTech 2027 in Phoenix. It's going to be a heck of a time. And so, a little aside, we just recorded a video with the FenceTech 2027 folks. 75% of the vendors that are here today are scheduled for next year already. The show floor is filling up fast.
Well, you know what? If you did miss it this year, you already missed out.
Yeah, at this point, if you're watching this, well, now this could be recorded, so maybe you were here. But I tell you what, we talked about over 70 educational sessions. An incredible opening keynote. Van Morse is getting ready to do the closing keynote here in a few hours, which will absolutely bring the roof down on this place. You want to make plans to attend. I can't say it enough. You want to be in this room and rooms like this just to better yourself, to better your business, that sort of thing. And Rachel, I didn't even introduce you.
Okay.
What a host am I? I just went straight into how excited I am about this show and the next show. And I mean, now listen, if you guys have been in the industry for more than like a couple days, you know Rachel. But Rachel, maybe for the few people out there that haven't had the opportunity to meet you yet, a brief introduction.
Well, my name is Rachel Cruzy, and I am with MySalesman. We are out of Waverly, Nebraska. So we've been sponsoring this show. Since 2015, we've been sponsors.
Wow.
So we do support the AFA and all the education that the AFA brings to contractors and vendors all across the country. And let me just add that if you're not in a room, you should probably find out how to get in the room.
You've got to figure out how to get in the room. Absolutely. Whether it's this room or whether it's the educational room or whether it's any of the kind of pre-events. We had a kickoff party. We had a meet and greet. Like, figure out a way to get in those rooms, because that's where the value, that's not the value, not all the value, but a tremendous part of it.
I suppose the old back in the day where business is made right here, the deals are made face to face. But I almost think it's very different now. Not only deals are made, but those relationships are made, and the relationships is what's key to moving the dial for your own company.
Yeah, I'm thinking about right now dozens on dozens of relationships that have started specifically at a FenceTech. So Nathan Downs and I, very good friends. I would consider him one of my best friends. I met him at FenceTech, so it would have been 2018 maybe, in Phoenix. Now he's 3 hours down the road from me. He's kind of in my backyard. Never met that guy before until we were at Phoenix. I think it was a Midwest chapter meeting at Phoenix. And lifelong friend, best friend. So relationships are made at these events and in those rooms, whether it's a pre-party or a kickoff party or educational seminar, keynote, here on the show floor. I mean, I'm looking around, and there's still pockets of people that are meeting each other or learning more about each other, that sort of thing.
One takeaway that I would say is not only while you're building these relationships, when you catch something spoken by others, and there's where you're seeking like a mentor relationship out there, and this is the place to seek those out.
Absolutely, 100% it is. So, Rachel, you're also a member of the Midwest chapter, which this year, the Midwest chapter of the AFA, we both are, which happened to be chapter of the year. You might see some new hardware here, or it's not actually new.
It's been around the block, been around our block.
Because we won it last year too.
Yes.
Now we did take a year off the year before that, but then we won it the year before that. So it's like we've had it for a while.
Every blind squirrel's got to find a nut. So we gave the Carolinas, I think, a little
They missed
taste
it. They missed it. So we was like, you know what? We'll let you borrow that.
Yeah,
But only for a year. It's coming back. It's coming back.
Yeah.
So, chapter of the year, pretty big honor. Like the biggest chapter honor, I feel like. Yeah. So, guys, if you're watching and you're in Missouri, Oklahoma, Northwest Arkansas, Kansas, Nebraska, or Iowa, we'd love to have you on the winning team. And you know what? If you're somewhere close and you just want to be with a winning chapter,
That's right.
we would welcome you with open arms. I'm not saying the rest of them aren't winners, but they don't have the hardware. So, I mean, I'll let you form your own conclusions on that.
And so, Joe, how would they do that? The number one, you could, if you don't know what territory or region you're in, because some of the states are split up a little bit, so you can always contact the AFA or Joe or I have an ear to what's going on, and we can help you.
You can reach out to me directly. More than happy to help. American Fence Association has an incredible new website. It's been revamped. It is incredibly easy to find the information. There's a map, and it'll show you exactly which chapter you're in. Now, one of the grievances we hear a lot is, well, we have a really big chapter, and geographically, really big.
The footprint, like landmass regionally, it is.
It's large, but now
population is different.
Population's different, and I'm looking at a map over the way. Rocky Mountains is a pretty big chapter too. All right, like that's geographically very big chapter, and I don't. Just a second. No, I don't. Anyway, so. If you'd like to join a winning chapter, reach out to me directly. You can reach out through the American Fence Association. Susie Wells is this year's president. She'd love to talk to you and meet with you. We'd love to meet you at a meeting. So come to the winning side.
And may I add, you always have, there's an open invitation to
100%
to join the meetings or whatnot.
Yep.
We encourage it, bring your friends, and we do have our annual golf outing down at Monkey Island, just north of Tulsa. And there's never a, hey, I'm not a part of the chapter. It's like,
right. No one's checking membership cards at the door.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, if you show up, you're in the right spot.
You're
essentially.
in the right spot.
And that's another way of getting in the room, right?
Absolutely.
Is just being at one of these events. And listen, if you weren't blessed to be in the Midwest chapter geographically, we understand. Get involved. Get plugged in. I mean, there's a lot. I say a lot of this, but there's a lot of great chapters out there. And it was pretty close. So there's a lot of good chapters doing a lot of good work, not only for themselves, not only for the associations. One of the big components of Chapter of the Year is also service projects. So also taking an active interest in the communities that they live and operate in.
Being a servant leader is always at the top of our list.
100%. So that's our little plug for the Midwest chapter being Chapter of the Year again. So for more information, reach out to one of us. Rachel, one of the main reasons I wanted to have you on is talk about MySalesman, and we haven't even gotten there yet. MySalesman, I've used MySalesman, so I would describe it, and I don't know if this is right, but as a pre-qualifying tool that lives on your website that we can have our potential customers choose their layouts, choose their materials, get a budgetary price at a time that's convenient for them, a place and a time that's convenient for them. Because we'll see a lot of these quote tools, and we can explain it more in here in a second, but I hope this makes sense. We see a lot of quote tools come through overnight.
Right.
Where they obviously couldn't reach anyone at the office. We don't do house calls at like 1:30 in the morning, but we certainly see these quote tools come through overnight. So pre-qualifying tool lives on a website.
So I would say that's your bullet point. I mean, that's probably the what the biggest takeaway. But it runs quite a bit deeper than that.
Yeah.
As far as what we've done on the back end of things to accommodate and we understand our fence contractors because number one, we are a fence contractor.
Yeah.
So we are always wanting to see what connections that we can make with other people in the industry, other softwares in the industry. We're very good at staying in our lane and doing the best job that we can doing what we do.
Sure.
And we know that there's other CRMs. We're not a CRM, but there's CRMs out there doing the same thing. So what's been the big thing in the industry is the tech stack.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've got a tech stack. Everybody's got a tech stack.
Yeah.
And really accommodating for those is what we have really poured into this last year. So we have all kinds of abilities to integrate. We have direct integrations, Job Nimbus and ArcSite, Contractor Accelerator, Jobber. Like we have open API keys. So webhooks and all Zaps, all that technological stuff that I don't even understand.
Sure,
but
sure.
we've got them. So so we've tried to really accommodate for that fence contractor.
Yeah.
But that's just one. That's just one thing that comes to mind. There's a whole philosophy on MySalesman as far as extending trust. You as a contractor to Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you're extending trust because you're number one. You're giving them the ability to shop a little bit online, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And shop in a way like that they're used to, because I know if I'm looking for a home service, the first place I'm going to go is online.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm not going to start at this store, this store, this store, this
No.
store.
I'm going to go to their website, learn a little bit more about them, that sort of thing.
That's right. So psychologically, there's a lot of like trusting, extending that trust, being transparent, sharing. Hey, this is budgetary information. We can move forward in this relationship, but here it is in about 30 seconds.
And you're meeting them where they're at.
Absolutely.
And it's when they're there, when they're in the decision-making cycle, or at least the information gathering cycle. You're meeting them when they're there, exactly when they're there. They're not waiting to the next day and trying to remember to give you a call. And even when they do give you a call, typically number one question is, so what's a fence cost? Like, well, it depends. Like, what kind of fence and how much and where is it? And there's a lot of questions that MySalesman helps answer. So we also, it lives on our website, but so we've got a lawn and garden show coming up at the end of this month. It'll be here. I'm going to blink and it'll be here. We love having like a television on display with the MySalesman up because it will help our customers visualize, here's the house. So I want to start at the back corners. I want to go around. Okay, yeah, I see the shed. I want to go around the shed. I want to put a gate here and a gate here. What kind of material would you like? Privacy fence, great. What type of material on the privacy fence, that sort of thing. And give them a budgetary price to walk away with. Right, and then we typically would print it out for them, so they have something tangible to hold, and we'll put some contact information on there. But now they left with information, and likely more information than because at a lawn and garden show they're shopping at every fence booth, right?
Yes.
They want to get all the information, but they're hopefully leaving with more information from us than they got from anybody else, and it puts us a step ahead.
So number one, they walk into your booth, they do this, they go online. Or jump on your kiosk or laptop, put in their information.
Yep.
I'm hoping they spell their name right, but it's all going into your system, correct?
Yes.
Their address or contact, and they're drawing out exactly where they want their fence and what fence type. Before they walk away from your booth, they're going to reach in their pocket because they feel a little buzz. They get an email notification.
Yeah.
They see Ozark Fence email, branded.
Yep.
They're all your information and how much a budget summary of how much that fence costs.
Yeah.
I guarantee nobody else in that whole lawn and garden show has that. And you know what else? They've put their information into your database. No more fish bowls. No more them writing on the piece of paper, tossing in the fish bowl. You have it already in your database where you can understand, hey, this customer's at the home show because that is a thing with MySalesman, that when that customer goes through, they are marking that they heard about you from the home show.
Yep.
So you can actually catch your ROI or understand your ROI and change your statuses within the system. Hey, I sold this job to this job from the home show.
Yeah.
Here's my ROI from the home show. So much impact from just that customer coming in your booth and putting their info in.
And you've already followed up with them. You've already followed up where if you put, however you collect information, typically follow-ups happen Monday morning or Monday throughout the day, depending on how successful the show was. Well, if our competitors are doing that, we've already followed up with them the day they were there, several days ahead, right? And so with any luck, they're already past the information gathering and they're already to the decision-making. And so hopefully we've kind of skipped ahead of the line in that. Now, and the other thing that I hear is impactful for our customers seeing it on the television is they get a satellite image of the home, right? So there's a level of trust there that goes, oh. And so they'll usually look at it and they go, well, that is my house. Okay. There's a little bit of surprise there. But say, okay, yeah, I do want to draw it right here to here to here to here. there's trust there, but also it's accurate. So that number one question they have is like, well, how accurate is this? Pretty accurate. And it's going to give a budgetary price. Right. So I say, I'm going to tell you my number is going to, unless something drastically changes, my number is going to be within this range. And I know that because I set the range. Right. So I got some inside knowledge here. Yeah. So I say, so if we're off a foot or two, I'm going to dial that in for you. But I know in the back of my mind. So candidly, what we did, because I'm a big believer, like trust but verify, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes,
you guys said it's accurate, but I want to know, is it really? So we took some project data, some projects that were already done that we went and measured with a handy dandy measuring wheel, and compared that with, and then we pulled up the address on MySalesman and we drew it out, and it's pretty stinking accurate.
It is.
Like it was within a couple feet to where and some people will hear that and they'll say, well, a couple feet, that could be real money. And it can, until you start thinking about the time you've saved. So every sales process is a little bit different. Ours is they'll use the quote tool. I'll look at that. I'll compare it with our county assessor's information just to make sure they drew the drawing where the property lines actually are. Send them a quote. They'll sign the quote, and then I'll go out and meet with them. That's how much trust and confidence I have in this. So if we're 2 feet off, what did I save in gas, time, all that, running out there to all these quotes that maybe did not turn into a job? I make it make sense that way, right? The time savings, the fuel savings, the opportunity cost of not being available, for a customer that was actually serious about a fence. It works in so many different ways, I guess.
It really does. It's multifaceted. Yeah,
and it works for the customer because, again, it meets them where they're at. It gives them a number quickly, and the answer isn't, I don't know, I'm going to have to come out. Anymore, it feels like people think the on-site quote is going to be a high-pressure sales, right? So, because we'll say, hey, if, for whatever reason, sometimes there's trees, sometimes there's a myriad of reasons, which you guys have ways of getting around, but we'll still go out, right? Or if it's a new build or if it's something like that. And they're always on guard, right? They think, I'm going to pull what can I do to get you to sign on the line today? Which doesn't typically work anyway, so we don't do that, but they're on guard, right? If they're using the quote tool and it meets them where they're at, they're a lot less on guard. They're gathering information rather than having it given to them. And again, to your point earlier, it builds a level of trust. So you talked a little bit about the tech stacks and the integrations, and you touched on a little bit with the home show drop down. You guys also on the back end to the company, you provide a tremendous amount of data.
Yeah, data mining.
Yeah,
and it's all there for the contractor to market to.
Sure.
And understand their customer.
Yeah, and understand the
buyer's journey.
Yeah, and understand the customer segment as a whole, right? So we can say, we can look at sales by lead source, right? And so that gives us a pretty good idea when we're looking at, the next year's marketing plan, when we're budgeting and where should funds go. We can look at that and say, okay, well, this lead source, it generated a lot of quote tools, but they didn't actually turn into customers. So maybe we don't invest as much there, right? But this actually led to getting more customers. We should probably reallocate some of those marketing dollars to the channels that are becoming successful.
Absolutely. And can I just, so it's funny because, MySalesman pretty much is like you don't have to babysit it too much,
yeah,
right?
Right.
So being at the show, I've had like customers that have used the product for over a decade come up and it's like, you know what? I haven't logged in for the last couple of years. I'm like, come on.
It looks very different.
It looks very differently. And I pulled up the report and I started reading on the source and how this person found you. It's like, well, I was driving down the highway and I saw your sign here and I heard it from a friend and they give specific names and he's just like, oh, I had no idea. That's really cool. But you have that ability to look at, hey, how did this person hear about us?
Yeah.
And like you said, we're all trying to understand our ROI when it comes to marketing.
Absolutely.
It's very difficult when it comes to marketing. So this is just giving you a little snapshot of, hey, this is working. Let's do more of this.
Absolutely.
But just like we'll call him Mark. Yeah, that is his real name. No, actually, it was Chris Steele.
Okay.
I'm just gonna call him out. Chris
Completely
Steele.
fictitious names of people that we may or may not know.
We're just gonna call him out. And he's like, "Oh, I had no idea." I'm like, Chris.
Yeah. But here's the thing: is that kind of speaks to how easy it is to use.
Absolutely.
Right. Like it doesn't get a lot more set it and forget it than that.
Right.
So, and I can see where I can see where he's coming from on that, because maybe to pull back the curtain a little bit on how this works is, you would say, and these numbers are not real. These are not. I'm not telling you what you should charge for fence, whatever. There's a particular type of fence, and you say, hey, typically this fence runs at $32.50 a foot installed. So I'll put that there. But then I'll put that in as my price per foot. But then I can choose to say, hey, when you're showing customers the number, I'd like for you to be 10% below and 15% above whatever my per foot is. It allows a little wiggle room, right? So, if it's a larger job, well, and also you can have some per foot or some overall footage, pricing policies in there as well. But
we have some pricing rules that account for how much fence they draw and where's the location of the property.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah, the location of the property. But we can say, hey, we're going to allow for a range here, right? So that if we're looking at it, it's got great road access. It looks like it's going to be a very straightforward process. I can adjust. We typically would adjust our price down a little bit if there's less labor hours, or if you look at this thing, you're like, this is going to be a nightmare. There's one way in, one way out. We're going to have to rappel from the rafters to try to get, you've got some wiggle room, right? You're not locked in at a firm price, I guess is the point.
Right.
Which would then give you a little bit of wiggle room as you're seeing these quotes come in and you're firming up prices to say, hey, my firm price is still within that range. Maybe you don't have a reason to log in. Maybe you just log in to adjust the price if and when it gets there. But boy, there's so much value in that.
Well, so speaking of logging in, I would hope that everybody log in. We did get a new login system this year. It is no longer password protected.
Yep.
That's getting more and more antiquated. Things are getting more sophisticated. So the verification code, if you are using Microsoft 365, it's asking for a password. That's your organizational password.
Okay.
So it's really getting more sophisticated as we have to keep getting better all the time. So that was one of the things that changed. So I'm hoping that people log in. I still get emails saying, hey, what's my password? And not only that, we've been doing this a long time that almost, like everybody has my cell phone number, right?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I can't log in. I'm like, okay, it's Sunday. Just I'll help you, right? Just let me get out of church first. But so that has changed. So going to log in, you just go to mysalesman.com, click in the member login, and enter in your email. If you're like, I don't remember what email I have, then just go to our support. We have a whole new support at mysalesman.com and say, I need help with getting logged in. So a lot of other cool things with our catalog. So our pictures are bigger, so you have the ability to go in and put high resolution pictures in.
Nice.
Switch them out. We'd love to talk to anybody and get them updated. If they have not logged in to their MySalesman account, we would love to set up an appointment with you and get you caught up to speed, because there are a lot of cool tools for success on there. Notably, one which is newer, we have an in-app notification system. Okay. So if we do have updates, you're going to get a little bell. I know some people don't like notifications, but you're going to get a little bell in the upper right-hand corner. You can click down and say, hey, this is now available with MySalesman.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for that bell.
Very good. Very good. A lot's changed and a lot stayed the same, right? The usability hasn't changed. If anything, the usability's probably gotten easier on the customer side, but from our side, it's still super easy to navigate, still super easy to use. And I say that to say, so we changed around some of our material offerings on like a wood privacy fence, and we needed to take one out, we needed to add one in. It took me about 5 minutes taking my time, and that was 3 minutes of me trying to figure out where I downloaded the pictures at, so I could upload them onto there. But super quick and easy. It was, here's my product, my material pictures, here's the different options that are available, that sort of thing. I remember a day where I had to call and have you walk me through that, just because, I mean, I'm a fence guy. I'm not super tech forward, but you're so patient with me. But I say that to say now I can click through it. It can be done. Even I can do it. And that says a lot. So it's pretty easy to use. If you haven't logged in, you definitely want to log in. There's a whole host of data in there that you're going to want, that you're going to have access to.
Absolutely. And if you're working with a marketing company, maybe your website provider also has the services of tracking your analytics.
Sure.
Like, you can track your analytics right through MySalesman. Like, even if you put like a Facebook ad, it's gonna track that. It's not gonna stop anywhere along the way. So if you're needing Google Analytics, and you'll see that on your integrations page. So check out your integrations page and see if your Google Analytics are turned on, or disabled or enabled. Let us know if you need those services. Those are complementary to all the new work that we did over this last year of building things out to accommodate our customers.
I love it. Speaking of integrations, you were talking about how you integrate with a lot of the CRMs in the market. So we use JobNimbus, love them. I understand people use others and love them, totally fine. My experience has been with JobNimbus, so I'll speak on that. You guys make it incredibly easy in that I don't have to do anything to bring all of that information from the customer submitting the quote tool for it coming into the CRM, pre-populating their name, their email, their phone number. It also has the quote tool dropped in there in the documents tab, which is super nice and convenient. Everything just works, and it's kind of like magic.
Right. And if you haven't if you have even logged into your JobNimbus, maybe it looks a little different because the records are merging. If there's multi-records of the same customer, they are merging under one. So you have each record of that one customer under
one instead of
several places.
Well, because sometimes customers will run multiple quotes.
Correct.
We'll say, hey, what if I just did the back line and just said, which they could do that in one, but that's okay. We'll let them do that in multiple. But they might submit 3 or 4 or 5.
Right.
And so now they all live in one job or under one customer rather than each having multiple.
Correct.
Super easy to use. Again, it's super easy to view the data. Like there's a whole tab that just kind of, you can start diving deep into the data.
Oh, yeah.
But also super easy to integrate with whichever CRM you guys are using back home. I don't know how many times I can say super easy in one podcast, but we're getting there.
Well,
you guys make it easy for contractors to be successful, I guess is the point.
So Matt has always used the KISS method for everything that we do. Number one, he's like, these are fence contractors. We got to make it really easy.
Yeah.
Number two, it's that one-time user, Mrs. Jones, that, she's only going to go through your product one time.
Sure.
Maybe
sure.
2 at best.
So,
we have to make it simple.
Yeah. Make it simple for them to use because they're not going to want to spend a lot of time on it. Make it simple for the contractor to use so that because contractors have better things to do than do this. So if I could sum it up, so MySalesman is an online lead generation, but also an online a quote tool for your customers. It's a win-win, right? You make it easy for them.
Mini CR. I mean, the amount of data on the back end and what we can do with it, it's, if you're a smaller company and you haven't made that transition to using a CRM, we're probably all you need, really.
Absolutely.
Because all the data is there and you can organize it, filter it, you can export it out. You can even plot it on a map.
Sure.
So you can see where each individual jobs are.
Which again helps with marketing.
Yes.
If we say, hey, if we're talking about digital marketing, hey, the majority of our awarded projects came from zip code 12345, or however many numbers are in a zip code. To put your marketing efforts there.
Right. You can even look you can organize your data.
Yeah.
Like sold jobs.
Yep.
How did they hear about us? And then let's plot that on a map and only see that.
Yeah.
So lots of cool things.
You can drill so deeply into the data. Right. It's not even funny. And it's, again, easy to use. You guys are great to work with as far as when you got questions, they don't make you feel like, that you don't know what you're talking about. They'll walk you through it. They're super nice about it. They were able to get me through it, and they made me feel good about the process. So if that's my experience, that can be your experience as well. Great team. I mean, the team that's here is great. The team in the office is really great to work with. If you guys haven't reached out, you ought to. If nothing else, just to get the demo and to meet the people. Your life will be better for meeting these people. I promise you. Even now, they would prefer that you do become a MySalesman customer, but they'll still be friends with you if you don't.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, we would love to have as many. I mean, what do you do when you have a good tool in the toolbox, right? You want to cascade that message like this is going to make your life easier. You're going to be more efficient and be able to service your clients better.
Yeah, you're just able to show up for them better. Absolutely.
So another thing real quick before we leave is, people are always, hey, I'm trying to grow my business.
Yep.
Well, you're trying to grow your business or scale your business. Like, what's the difference? I mean, there's a couple different aspects here. Like, if you want to scale your business, like you're trying to get to that next goal without adding a truck, adding a crew, adding tools. Now, that's a big investment.
Yeah.
$175 a month is not a big investment, and you may get the same exact result. Sure. So why don't you give us a call. We'll talk about scalability and where that fits in with using MySalesman. We've done it.
Yeah.
We're not just we're not just talking about it. We're actually there's proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
When I joined the team, there was probably 10 of us. I believe there's about 175 team members in our organization now. So learn from those who are doing the things. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. And, talking about a tech stack, and tech stack is really, so I didn't think I had a tech stack until I was talking to Rachel about it. She's like, Joe, do you use software? I do. Do you have apps that you use? I do. And websites? I do. You have a tech stack. Like, news to me, but I'll take it. But out of this tech stack that we use, one of the most affordable, but also one of the most used tools in the tech stack. So it's kind of when we're talking about dollar or value for dollar, I don't know how to rank or how to, it's one of the most valuable tools we have for the least amount of investment. So listen, I've got some other companies that we use. If you could talk to them about this pricing model and just see if we can't chisel that down. The overall cost of the tech stack is getting up there. But no, I want you guys to know at home, like this, depending on what softwares you use and what your bundle looks like, one of the most affordable pieces, one of the most affordable tools and one of the most valuable tools in the toolbox for sure.
Absolutely. And you know what? And here's just a little nugget I'm going to throw out there.
Yeah.
So, when you're signing up for a new software and it's big, hairy, scary software.
Yeah.
It's like in your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to take me weeks, months to implement. Then I got to get my team on board, and everybody is like, what I really hate to see here is, number one, me asking how you are, Joe, because I'd rather hear something than fine, because that's just pleasantries.
Yeah.
But when I'm telling you, hey, I've got a solution for you, I would love to share it with you.
Yeah.
And number one, I'd like to share that with everybody.
Yeah.
And I actually lost my train of thought right there. So it's been a long week. Tech stack solutions.
Yeah.
So we use a lot in our business. When I try to explain to a contractor, this is going to literally be the easiest software that you could ever think to use, because number one, we're fence contractors, and we're going to basically deliver you a product that's off the shelf. You really just need to tweak a couple pricing things in your and make sure your catalog's aligned, and then have your copy and paste on your website.
Yeah.
Period. That's it.
Pretty straightforward.
If you're going to sign up for MySalesman, most customers are going to have it up on their website the day of.
Yeah. Absolutely. And within a few hours, it wouldn't even be a day, it would be within a few hours. And then you can tweak and change as it goes. So that's the other nice thing, is that you can customize it as your business changes.
Right.
Because rarely does a business stay exactly the same year on year for a period of time. So as your business changes, it's easy to log in, Chris, and to make those changes, right? To change the material offerings, to change the pricing, to change the price ranges. It's incredibly easy. It's within a minute or two, and it's just a good piece of software. So, and guys, I have used it since before this podcast. Now, Rachel and the team have become friends of mine, but I was using it even before we were friends. We became friends because of the software.
We did.
Really.
Actually, I remember I was a little bit intimidated with talking to Joe on the phone because of his voice, and he was very commanding. And I'm like, oh, he is a I mean, and he comes from a fence family.
Sure.
So you know what? Okay, so I'm going to do a little plug for the women in fence. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm going to digress here just a little bit.
Go for it.
And yeah, sorry, it's running.
It's all right.
So as a new person to the industry in 2015, you look around the room and you see these people, and everybody knows everybody, and there's a little bit of level of intimidation there.
Sure. Yeah.
Until you talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And then they bring you in, and you find out what this industry is really about, right? But when I call Joe, or Joe calls me, and he's asking questions about the software piece of it and his company, I'm like, Joe grew up in this industry. I am very intimidated by trying to talk to him about solutions about this. So in the women's, in the SIG groups today, we kind of told, a few of us told our stories, right? So I do want people to know, if they haven't been in the industry that long, or if they're just joining, that there are stories that align with theirs. Like that intimidation factor. And I really want to cascade that message that we are in a very inclusive industry, and there's really not too many people that you just can't go to and have a conversation with.
Right.
And well, Joe has this very commanding voice, right?
Sure.
That's why he does what he does. He's so good at it. His language is awesome. But he really is somebody who's going to care about others, and when they have questions, and not make them feel intimidated.
Well, everyone has questions, right? Like, that's the thing, is everyone started somewhere, and everyone has a journey they're walking through, regardless of how far along the journey they're on. They're still on a journey. And that's one. So when Dan Wheeler and Craig Eubanks and I, we had a kind of what to expect from FenceTech live. Each one of us had said, hey, listen, if this is your first FenceTech and you see one of us, I'd like you to come up and introduce yourself so that I can introduce you to my friends. Because this can be an intimidating room. I mean, one, it's gigantic. Like, where do you even start? But two, like, there are groups of people having conversations here, and it might feel like you're an outsider kind of invading a new territory, but that's just because you haven't met anybody yet.
That's 100%.
Yeah, I'll introduce you to 3 or 4 people, and then you're plugged in. And then those 3 or 4 people will introduce you to their friends, who will introduce you to their friends. And by the time you leave here, you got like 20, 30, 40 friends in the industry, and you were just here 1 year.
That's right.
You know, we were over in the MySalesman booth earlier. I was talking to Matt, who has become one of my best friends, and while we're in there, we're seeing people we know, and they're coming in, and we're saying hi. And it really, no matter where you go, it turns into kind of a friends gathering and a reunion kind of thing. Right. But I can definitely see how it would be intimidating.
Yes.
Right. So I guess that's the thing, is I'll reiterate that if you're at a Fence show, if you're at a meeting, if you're anywhere, you see me, you see Dan Wheeler, you see Craig, Rachel. I'm going to volunteer. Yeah. Okay, I was going to say, I'm going to volunteer you too. Come up and say hi. I'd love to meet you. 2, I'd love to introduce you to my friends, because they will become your friends in about 32 seconds.
And I'd love to hear your story.
Yes. Yeah. I'd love to hear where you are on the journey, and where you think your journey's taking you. Now, the journeys usually wander, right? Yes. Like we never end up quite where we think we're going to. But I'd love to hear the story and where you are on the journey, because one thing too is, you know, we probably know somebody who's been on a similar journey, or who's headed to a similar destination that we can introduce you to. And, you know, whether we're talking about a mentor role or whatever, I mean, that relationship will likely prove invaluable to you personally and also professionally. We're not kidding when we call this a Fence family.
We're not kidding.
We're not. Now, you know, not all the family gets along all the time, but we do all break bread together, right? We do all come together for a common cause. It's just, there's no weird uncles though. Sometimes at family reunions, there's that one uncle that nobody really talks to because he's a little bit. We don't have any of those though. So it's like all the good parts of a family, and not the weird parts. But we're not kidding. It's a Fence family. We're here for everybody. We'd love to meet you guys. We're constantly trying to grow the family, because we all understand that we're better together, and rising tide raises all the ships, and we'd love to have every unique skill set we can get.
And when you're coming to the events and you're listening to Joe's show, Joe has a lot of good guests on where you can glean some information, and we have a customer that signed up recently with us, and the question is, hey, how did you hear about us? Well, I listened to Joe. I listened to Matt. I listen to all the podcasts. I listen to all the things. So that that's a good way to open up the window and kind of take a look at things.
Sure.
Before you arrive.
Absolutely. It's a great way to test the waters.
Yeah. You can call MySalesman. You can call Empire. You can ask for myself at any time.
Yeah.
Happy to talk to you.
And she's never mean. That's one thing I think is incredibly impressive is Rachel has never once been mean to me. And not that I deserve being mean to, but anyway, she's always had an abundance of patience. Her and the team have always been there for me and answered my questions, and it's not made me seem silly or anything because I've come up with a few doozies of questions where when they give you the answer, I'm like, oh, I was like 2 clicks. Okay, I could. All right. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Rachel and her team are great. They'll treat you really well. They've always treated me really well, and I think you will have a similar experience out there if you'd like to try their software.
Oh, we'd love to, and we would love that. We've got goals, right? We've got goals.
That's right.
It's not driven by the almighty dollar.
Right.
But what it is we are really trying to make a difference in people's lives, and the MySalesman tool is actually absolute essential.
Yeah. One of your guys' motivators is making an impact. Right? Making an impact on these contractors' businesses, hopefully helping to change the trajectory of their lives and their families' lives and their business lives. And I think that's why I align, or I just feel so aligned with you guys and your brand, because that's where your hearts are at, right? The servant leadership, hey, we know that will be provided for by providing for others.
Absolutely.
So it's a breath of fresh air, just in general. We use a lot of software, and that mentality maybe is not as common in software as it could be. But anyway, so you guys love them. Please reach out. MySalesman.com.
MySalesman.com. But I just want to add again is so one of the philosophies that we hold so dearly is very opposite or polar opposite of a lot of businesses. Okay. What we do is we use our business to grow people instead of using people to grow our business. The journey of the individual is what really matters, and their personal, professional growth, and being a good human. Yeah.
So you guys, believe me, I love them. I think you'll too. I think you will too. We'll grab you another water right after the show.
I'm a hot mess.
Rachel, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Being so giving your time, and I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your team's friendship. I hope you'll pass that along. Guys, for more information, MySalesman.com. I love them. I think you will too.
Thanks, Joe.
For now, I'm Joe Everest.
And I'm Rachel Cruzy.
And we're reminding you that good fences make good neighbors. And we'll see you next time.